All I say is pay attention. All I say is pay attention. Just pay attention. Insane, bro. Insane. I never thought I'd see today Chromatic Fire is meta. Never thought I'd see today. What up, guys? Alchemist saying something nice for you. So today we are using Chromatic Fire with Praxic Blade. We got a Praxic Blade build today. Before we get into the video, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So please subscribe if you are new around here and share my build videos around. Help me out a lot. Okay, so Chromatic Fire. First of all, peep the drip. Peep the drip. Alright. Chromatic Fire. Chromatic Fire, exotic perk says, final blows from kinetic weapons create an explosion in the element of your equipped super that deals damage and applies a matching elemental effect. And then you see the elemental effects here, right? Then it says, elemental final blows temporarily increase the explosion size. Precision final blows always maximize the explosion size. So when you got 2 stacks of crystalline transistor, it makes the explosion 8 meters. Without it, it's 4 meters, then 1 stack is 6 meters. Okay. Now, to show you guys how it works normally without me doing anything in the build, it's not that exciting. I sliced this acolyte. It's a baby explosion. Doesn't do nothing for us at all. It's like, okay. Then you throw the blade, and it doesn't change anything there either. But when the enemy starts shooting at me, I'm able to get precision shots with this, which end up making the exotic Chromatic Fire insane. And it gives me stacks of crystalline transistor because of me getting precision kills. Okay, so I said, let's make a build with Chromatic Fire where we're just deflecting and getting kills. Okay, and it only got to be a precision shot. It only got to be a precision kill. You'll still activate the crystalline transistor, whatever crap, because sometimes the explosions will kill them. Okay, now let's take this a little bit further in case some of you guys are still skeptical about Chromatic Fire. What they don't tell you about Chromatic Fire in the game is that abilities gives you stacks of crystalline transistor to get that bigger explosion. So if I kill this acolyte with a threaded needle or a threatling, I get a stack of crystalline transistor or whatever crap, even if I throw a grenade. So you don't have to try to deflect all that to get the stacks you need for Chromatic Fire. You can just use your abilities to get the stacks, and then you just start slicing enemies down as you got stacks with your goddamn Chromatic Fire. And then you can just do something wild like throw the Praxic Blade, and then every enemy to get hit by it do a crazy explosion, hit all the enemies in the area. Okay, so I hope that sold this exotic for you guys. I know some of you guys sleep on this exotic Chromatic Fire. It's actually busted right now with Praxic Blade being released in Renegade. Okay, the stats you want to go for in this build is where's subscribe. Shout out to you. Welcome to the family. Okay, we're using 160 grenade in this build, and then we're gonna use font mods to add it up some more, because at the end of the day, Warlocks is still the grenade build, right? The grenade class, right? And then we got 120 weapon stat. You just need 100 so that you're doing maximum damage with the Praxic Blade outside of boss damage. And then you want to go for 100 class stat in this build. Okay, that's all you want. 100 class, 100 weapon, and then as high grenade stat you can get. Okay, what we're rocking on our Praxic Blade, we are running defensive form. Blocking an attack with your guard grants ammo to this weapon, so the more you deflect, the more ammo you get. And then blocking attack immediately after guarding increases damage for a short duration. And then we're rocking refraction core. You get this from giving scraps to this bum drug addict Dreg at the goddamn new social space. He's doped up on ether. Okay, you keep giving him 100 scraps, and there's a chance he'll drop this exotic refraction core for you for your Praxic Blade. So just go up to him, just keep spamming the square button until you drop it for you. Okay, But this making that reflection damage from this weapon applies an elemental effect based on my super, and we're rocking solar, so that's why I've seen all the scorches. Okay, and then if you got the catalyst from doing the stuff inside the Zada mission, you want to have Hyperblade Catalyst that make it that reflecting shots cause you to become amplified and grant this sword increased launch distance for a single swing. Okay, which is very important because we will be utilizing a certain perk in an artifact that just goes perfect with that. I'm rocking Antidote as my primary weapon just so I get some bolt charges with Rolling Storm, because I will be doing ability damage anyway, so this just proc some bolt strikes like y'all seen with my demonstration. And then my exotic, my heavy is just a crossbow submersion because it's strong to use. Okay, now artifact. There are multiple artifact things you want to use because this artifact is sword focus and kinetic damage focus and void focus. Okay, so you want to make sure you have power from pain, so rapid final blows against weakened combatants grant you devour. This goes in tangent with Singularity Blade, which says while you have a void elemental buff, melee and sword hits weaken targets, while melee and sword final blows create a weakening burst. That's why you're seeing the enemies I was killing, they was doing a void explosion on the ground and hitting enemies near them because of me having a void elemental buff on with this artifact perk on. And that explosion, I think it also triggers Chromatic Fire because it's an elemental explosion. Then we have a combination Argent Blade on. This is the one that works perfect with that block deflect perk I just said on the sword, where it says briefly pause after executing a light attack, then follow it up with a light or heavy attack to empower your sword for a short time, granted bonus damage and charge rate. This gives you 15% bonus sword damage and make your charge rate go up a lot very quick. All you gotta do is swing, and then after you don't swing for 0.4 seconds, you get that buff for 5 seconds. Okay, so when you do the deflect and then you do the single slice to lunge at the enemy really quick and far, that one slice will activate Argent Blade for you, and then you can just start swinging on enemies in that area and killing them. Okay, or deflecting. And then the third thing you want to have on would be something like Repulse, so that you can do unstoppable stuns. If you are doing bolt charges, you could get Dielectric on, or you can go with this one to give you a temporary damage resistance from breaking enemy shields. Okay, all up to you. Then the last column, the main thing you want is Kinetic Rupture. Kinetic weapon damage against powerful combatant, make a chance to create a kinetic rupture that make you do more damage to them. And then you can have on one of the two. You can go with Sword Storm combo, with making that you do a sword tornado around you to hit the enemies, or you can go with Void Infestation. I highly recommend Void Infestation because defeating a weakened target spawns a tracking projectile that weaken other targets. This will allow you to run this build without Feed the Void, because then you can kill a weakened enemy, weakened projectile go to other enemies, and then you can kill the weakened enemies to get you devoured with power from pain, and then your whole cycle just start without you needing Feed the Void. So I highly recommend Void Infestation, and then you can choose between Sword Storm combo and Kinetic Rupture. I would say Sword Storm combo is the better option than Kinetic Rupture. Okay, but before we continue, shout out to today's sponsor, Deviant.net. Guardians, I would like to recommend you all a great service the Traveler blessed us with, Deviant.net. Here, you can find a team to complete different activities for you, like raids, dungeons, trials, exotics that you don't have, and even power grind. No longer do you have to torture yourself with grind level torture. You can give it to somebody else. You can torture somebody else with it, okay? All the services can be done without account sharing, so no worries about securing your account and having to give away your login information. To order a service like that, all you have to do is talk to an operator in the bottom right corner where it says chat and schedule a self-play appointment with your order. The website has been working for a long time. It has a lot of players, reviews, and payment methods. You can check out everything yourself, and with the promo code AlchemistKirito, you will have a 15% off discount on all services. If you have any further questions, just ask the operator in the bottom right corner. What you waiting for? Get help from Deviant.net today. Subclass, we're rocking Song of Flame. Okay, you can rock Song of Flame or Nova Bomb. Okay, Nova Bomb allows it that you do weakening explosions and your sword weaken enemies when you do the deflections. Song of Flame making that you scorch enemies when you do a deflection. I got Song of Flame on because of the artifact. The artifact is doing the void explosion when we kill enemies. So I wanted to get some scorch explosions from Chromatic Fire when I kill the enemies as well. So every enemy I kill doing a weakening explosion and spreading scorch. So that's why I went with Song of Flame. But you definitely can go with Nova Bomb, so that every deflection you're doing is weakening enemies, which would go in tangent with the artifact, so you can get Devour, and then you can take off Feed the Void because you went that route, and then put on Helion with Weaver's Call to have all your abilities doing damage while you're deflecting. Up to you, okay? Pick your poison. Phoenix Dive, obviously, so I can Phoenix Dive, get my health back, put out the Threatlings while I'm fighting. Also, Weaver's Call being on, whenever we deflect the sword, because we're doing damage, the Threatlings will attack on their own for me while I'm deflecting. So it's like passively attacking for them while I'm doing damage while hitting them, the shots back at them. We got on Arcane Needle, so that again, like I showed you guys, our abilities does give us stacks for Chromatic Fire. So Arcane Needle gives you 3, so I can just throw it into a crowd, unravel in there, and get some stacks. We got on Vortex Grenade, because we will be using Facet of Dominance to weaken enemies with our Vortex Grenade. Not only with our Vortex Grenade, but also our Prismatic Grenade, so that we can easily proc Devour. Again, this is for if you're not rocking Feed the Void. Feed the Void is interchangeable. You can definitely take off Feed the Void and put on Helion and just double dip into the damage of passive damage while you're deflecting. While you're deflecting, the Threatlings is attacking, and you got Helion shooting for you, igniting the enemies, because every deflection that you're doing is putting Scorch on enemies, and then Helion shoots them once and then it calls an ignition. So you can definitely go that route without Feed the Void. Just make sure you kill people with the Vortex Grenade, or you have the Void Infestation unlocked in your artifact, so it's easy to kill weakened enemies, so you get that Devour from Power of the Pain. Okay, Fragments, like I said, Facet Dominance. We got Facet Purpose on. This gives us restoration, so it's easy for us to charge in and block all day without them being able to kill us, because we're healing our health non-stop, getting Aura of Power. And if you go with Void, you'll get a Void Overshield, which will stack with the Amplified you get from deflecting with your sword. So you have a Void Overshield and Amplified, making you unkillable. Or in this case, if you rock Song of Flame like me, you get Restoration and Amplified. Okay? We got on Facet Protection. We're within enemy's range because we're using our sword, so this gives us that 15% damage reduction. We got Facet of Grace on because we're using a kinetic weapon. This will make it that we get Transcendence energy for both our light and dark side using the Praxic blade. And then we got Facet of Hope on to make it that as long as we got 2 elemental buffs on, which would be Devour and Amplified, this gives 60% uptime on our Phoenix Dive to spam for Weaver's Call and Helion if you put on both, like I did in the gameplay footage in the top right. Okay. Armor mods, we're rocking Kinetic and Trophy Siphon. Just make it that we get ores from kinetic kills and void weapon kills. This is if you do put on a void super, then you will be doing weakening with the deflection and stuff. But as long as people kill people with the sword, you're making ores power to pick up for Facet of Purpose. We got on Special Ammo Finder and Scout so that we can get more ammo for the Praxic blade. Even though I almost forgot, in the artifact you want to make sure you have on kinetic synthesis as well. Just make it that sustained kinetic weapon damage and rapid final blows have a chance to generate a unique ammo brick. Collecting this brick will grant ammo to the equipped kinetic damage weapons and grant special and heavy ammo progression. This makes it that you never run out of ammo for the Praxic blade. Literally never. So you don't need Special Ammo Finder, but this just guarantees you will never not have Praxic blade ammo. Guaranteed. I got on 2 grenade fonts and firepower. Again, this is if you have on the Helion in your build, so Helion doing dumb damage and make an orb power for you, causing ignitions with you as well while you're deflecting, doing the scorch damage. Chest piece, we got on 1 melee damage resistance because we will be within range, close quarters with the enemy, so this gives us more damage resistance. And we got 2 lucid blades on to make it that the charge rate of deflecting goes up very quick. As you see in my gameplay, it literally takes little time. Like, you see how long the energy down there in the bottom left, the sword symbol, that's how long I can deflect. When it goes empty, the deflecting goes away. Well, see how quick it goes up. That's because I have 2 lucid blades stuff on. So it literally like 1 second downtime that I can start deflecting again. Very quick, so I can always keep deflecting non-stop for this build. Leg piece, I got Better Already on because I already gonna be having Devour on, right? Better Already on, I got Kinetic Weapon Surge on to make that Praxic blade do even more damage, about 11%. Now I got Installation on, pick up Order Power, give me class ability energy for Phoenix Dive. You can take off Better Already and put on an extra kinetic weapon surge if you feel like you're good. Which I highly recommend actually, because you will be having restoration with Song of Flame. So put on 2 kinetic weapon surges so that you can have 17% extra damage with your Praxic blade, which will stack on with the extra damage you're getting from the sword itself when it say deflect and then attack, get extra damage, and then also extra damage from the artifact from the Argent combo, the Argent blade. Okay, so you're gonna be doing dumb damage with this. And then lastly, our class item, we're rocking Time Dilation, just have more uptime on our grenade fonts and kinetic surges. Reaper, so whenever we kill somebody after we do Phoenix Dive, we get Aura Power, and then Bomber to get grenade energy when I use Phoenix Dive. You also could opt in with Stasis Turret, since you can have the turret shooting for you while you're deflecting, but it's way more deadly using Hellion. Okay, and in case you didn't know, there is a combo you want to use with the Praxic blade, and the game don't tell you, I believe, but if you do 3 light attacks then a heavy, you do a special combo. So 1, 2, 3, then a heavy attack. That's the combo you always want to use with your sword, because it hit the last heavy attack, do multiple damage, and I'll have a different video on why that's so important with different mobs on this sword. But always do 3 light attacks and then heavy. It's insane damage. Okay, that's the full build video. Okay, use this build, it's insane. Shout out to my boy Itachi, who was playing the game one day doing the exotic dungeon, the exotic quest, and we wanted to make a build that actually focus around using the sword instead of us just saying throw on getaway artist, have your pet shoot while you're deflecting. At that point, your pet's doing the job for you. It's not really focused around the sword. But this build really focuses on you using the sword and making all these explosions with chromatic fire. It's just great synergy, okay? And I highly recommend everyone to give this build a shot. I definitely had an easy job using this to harden in content and had a ball, okay? So go out there, have this build, have fun. And again, shout out to my boy Tachi for brainstorming with me and coming up with this build. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up.